All right. Trying not to trip on all the cords we have set up now.
Yay. Well, there's no bags over there, so, you know.
Yeah, I didn't bring all my bags this time. So I hope the music isn't too loud.
Nah, I think we've had it. And, you know, when the heat comes on.
Yeah, that's true. Hello, wide world out there.
Good morning and welcome to the Sun Dragon Virtual Shopping Channel.
Virtual Shopping Channel, VSC. I can't do that with my fingers. But this is our second playlist that we are starting to talk about and do. We're kind of every other day, maybe twice a week we'll do this. Twice a week we'll try for our sideshow, as long as we can from the shop. So this is more of talking about fun, cool things we have in the shop.
Our QVC moments.
QVC that we don't want to infringe on trademark.
So we don't know who you are or who I am.
Oh, I was about to say, we need to do introductions.
Some people know us, some people don't.
This is Liz. She is the shop minion at Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina. I did not give her that title.
It's self-imposed. Employee says way too much responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Rebecca, my boss at Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina. Best boss in the whole wide room.
You said the whole wide room? Of course. It's like you're my most favorite sister. Wait, I only have one sister. Anyway, yeah. I try. And
you are the best boss in the whole wide world.
I don't react well when she says that, so the whole wide world thing, I get all like bashful and stuff, so she knows that.
Yeah. She lets me run around barefoot.
My nose at her.
The grief I give her.
I let her set protocols so we hopefully stay healthy. She tries to keep me, before there was even worry about illness worldwide, her job was to keep me alive.
It's because she threatened to will me the shop if anything happened, and quite frankly, that's more than a minion wants.
Okay, so anyway, so this is a little more instructional, informative, but you know, we're going to be
maybe not instructional, more like what we got.
Yeah. Okay. This is more less entertaining, but I bet there'll be some level of entertainment involved.
It's us, you know.
Anyway, so last time we started with notions, so we're going to do that again. We're not necessarily doing favorites, but we're doing things we like. I feel like today the things we picked out is stuff we like and think is cool notion-wise, and just either spring yarns or fun yarns, like
new colors.
Light stuff for warmer weather, because some of us are getting warmer weather. We're supposed to get in the 80s this weekend. Even in the mountains of North Carolina.
I'm gonna die of heat exhaustion.
All right, we should get to business. So
I had a thought for notion wise, and I've been mentioning it on the Adventures of Liz and Rebecca sideshow. That I've been looking for ways to not keep sticking stuff in my mouth because it's easy to stick.
Biohazard.
It's easy to stick. Your cable needle or whatever, and pen needles, whatever.
Pins when you're sewing.
Pins when I'm sewing, stitch markers in my mouth. And so I was like, ooh, this is kind of helpful for everybody. So we pulled out our Cocoknits, Maker's Keep in gray and chartreuse, Gorello. They're awesome. I do not recommend doing the whole slap bracelet thing. I bruised my wrist like the first time Rebecca showed me.
Yeah, it's about the same size as my Apple Watch, but it's not an Apple Watch, which is kind of cool. And yeah, if you gently place it on,
it'll
and you can adjust it a little bit if it's too tight or too loose, but it'll stay open and flat when you're not wearing it, which is cool because, as Liz has mentioned, there is a ruler on the back side, which is kind of cool too.
Yep.
But ginormous, really powerful magnet.
It is one of the best magnets I've found, both for knitting notions and for sewing notions.
And why might you want a magnet for knitting and sewing, you might say? because anything metal is going to stick to it. I mentioned in the sideshow, I was like, oh, and you can do this cool thing. I have a couple of our Cocoknits stitch markers, and for people who don't know, a stitch marker is something you put between stitches. The ones like this that don't open and close, we'll probably get into more detail later. They're to mark repeats and patterns, or when you're supposed to do something, instead of having to count a million times, you can knit up to the stitch marker, move it over, and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
It lets you know, hey, something important needs to happen here.
Yeah.
But this is this
or
is my
you're
fun
supposed
thing.
to have so many of those.
Yeah, yeah. It can let you know 12 stitches into a row that something went wrong before you get to the end of a 200 stitch row and go, oh crap, where did I mess up?
Yeah.
So this is one of the boxes that we're gonna show in front of you in a second, but I have a mishmash of metal stitch markers in here, and if I wanted to, I could have fun and go like that and basically make a magnetic
chandelier.
creation.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned on the sideshow that, and let's see how many did I get off. Oh, some of them want to stay. I'm going to leave those ones there. I think I've mentioned on the sideshow that I've picked up the cushion to my couch, and we were going to vacuum, and I said, hang on, and I ran this over it, and I picked up about 3 or 4 stitch markers at least that were black, and I couldn't see.
If you don't like wearing the faux Apple Watch Cocoknits Maker's Keeper, my son said, that looks like an iWatch or an Apple Watch, and I went, no, it's a magnet. We also have Knitter's Pride does necklaces, and they come with a bunch of stuff, but it's the same concept. You can wear the necklace, and it's a magnet.
They may look like wood, which is very cool, but they are a magnet. So here's another example of something you can keep on these magnetic surfaces. That is a sewing needle for sewing your ends in with knit and crochet.
Because how many times do you pick it up, put it down, and
when you're finishing a sweater?
Yeah.
I mean, the Knitter's Pride one was designed for cabling, because cable needles, I have one right here, a J-hook cable needle. There's 3 different kinds of cable needles that actually come with that.
Yep.
But cabling is, you're moving stitches onto a 3rd needle to switch them around, and then you put that 3rd needle down, and then you pick it up and put it down, like Liz is saying. And this gives it a place to be where, in fact, I need to go grab something else. It gives it a place to be where you can find it again. Because so many times, Cocoknits has one too. You keep talking about stitch markers.
I've stuck cable needles in my hat, in my, one of our friends sticks them behind her ear. Sometimes I stick it in my mouth, which, let's be honest, isn't cool anymore. So, with all of these, any metal, like, they have to be metal, not aluminum.
Aluminum's not going to work. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Clover makes some aluminum.
Yeah.
Sewing needles. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
So we have a variety of Cocoknits stitch markers. We have small, medium, and jumbo. Whoops. There we go.
Round ones.
Round ones.
These are what are called fixed stitch markers, in that once they're on your needle, they're on your needle. But don't freak out if you are a new knitter, because they won't suddenly get stuck in your work unless something really crazy happens. You just move them when you come to them. It can be when you're knitting in a circle, it lets you know the beginning of a row. You come to it, you slide it to the other side of your needle, you keep going. It moves with you. The round ones come in rainbow colors. Of the ones that are stuck on here, I got little ones. These are the ones I'm using for my papillon. They are plastic coated metal, so they're thin but super cute. The triangles, I love triangles. We have this cute little case for the triangles. They come in black and white. Triangle ones I kind of like because there is an extra corner for you to kind of slide. It can be easier to move from one needle to the other, so that's fun.
And we also have open close stitch markers. They look like a safety pin with a round bulb on the end. They're great for also crocheters who want to mark a spot in, because with crochet we can't use the sealed fixed.
You're done
rings.
with a crochet stitch when there's one
Yeah.
loop on the hook, so,
So
there's nothing to put it between.
Kind of have to use open closed safety pins, but these I've used as safety pins. I've used them, and we have lots of varieties of.
We have the ones that just look like metal. We have from Bryson. We have ones that we have packaged ourselves, and the ones from Cocoknits come in rainbow colors.
Yep.
They have that plastic coating again that
Yep.
comes in rainbow colors. I will caution that the plastic ones, we have open closed plastic, that's for another day. The metal ones, I call them sharp and stabby because they're metal.
They're sharp and stabby.
Just be careful.
They're great.
Knitter's Pride. Okay, here's my thing on Knitter's Pride. Knitter's Pride makes their own version of everything. And we're bouncing around here a little bit, I know. But Knitter's Pride has their own version. The necklace comes with a pouch, 3 different styles of cable needles, and
A half a pack of those.
and these are Knitter's Pride's versions of Cocoknits stitch markers. Oh, see, they're metal. They're coated metal. They have hearts. They have
Squares and circles.
Squares and circles. In limited colors rather than the full rainbow range.
The hearts go up to a 9. You can stick a size 9 needle in them.
And be careful, the back of the packaging is talking about
Oh yeah,
the
that's right.
multi-pack. They have packaging, the same packaging for both the circles and squares and the hearts.
I want to say I can get a 9
Okay.
through the hearts,
Cool.
but not a 10 or a 10 and a
Yeah.
half, because I have those.
To go back to these guys, the Cocoknits, they're like $10 a pack, which might be like, wow, but my
There's-
Clover ones are like only $6. There's, for the smaller sizes, everything but the jumbo.
There's
the jumbo
60
rings.
of them.
60. That's a ton of that's enough stitch markers to do the entire Papillon.
Yeah.
And the jumbo one has 30, but it's still a really good value for what they are, you know.
The Bryson ones are almost $4, $3.95 for 20.
Yeah. So honestly, the Cocoknits ones are gonna sound like they're super expensive, but they're such a good value for how many you get. We both reached. We're like, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna hold this so I can show the flight of stitch markers. This is our display, and they're all popped out because they're hard to get out. Just to show them off. The flight of stitch markers from Cocoknits. It's $25.95 here at the shop, and it has five different
Flavors of
flavors, little vials of, and the pictures are on big, jumbo, regular, small, triangle, and kind of an open split ring thing. I don't carry a lot of split ring ones at the shop, but these are decent, right? You use them more than me.
I've used them in some of my crochet projects, and if I need to mark where I'm doing a decrease in my hats.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you kind of got to make sure that you keep them twisted in there, because sometimes they might untwist. But I've also used them like in my Papillons. If I missed putting a stitch marker in or one flicked out, they'll go over some of the smaller cables to where you can just stick it on there and have it to replace later.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is, it's a tasting of all of them, basically. They're all that plastic coated metal. Or I think it's plastic. I mean, something's coating them. You know.
Something. Yeah.
Rubber, plastic, I don't know. 120 nylon coated. Hey, it helps to read.
It does. It's amazing how it
Nylon
works.
coated steel markers in 5 different styles, 4 each of 6 colors. These are in a nice pastel shade of colors, whereas a lot of these are, except for the jumbos,
Primary.
are your primary bright like that. So, so those are some of our favorites. To go back to the cable needles just for a second. Knitter's Pride, we sell the J hooks separately. Cocoknits version of cable needles, that they have the aesthetically pleasing cable needles. It's a whole multi-pack of different size, really short double points, essentially, the straight version of cables. But there's a little metal band, which again means that they will stick. If you don't like
them.
If you don't like the heavy metal for the whole thing, this one has that bamboo feel, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So that is our spiel on notions for today, and a variety of notions. And you can always call or email the shop to see what we have in stock. Our stock is kind of up and down and weird right now, and our ability to reorder is highly questionable because of the craziness going on in the world. So we'll do what we can for you. I am still working on getting an online shop up and running. I'm hoping that will happen soon, and we'll try to keep that actual inventory real so you can order things even easier. But right now, it's like yesterday, we were busy all day, and I'm sure some of you out there tried to call and couldn't get through because we were on the phone for about 4 or 5 hours straight. Which, thank you all so much for your love and your support. Be patient, keep trying, email us. We'll try to work it out until we can get something a little more streamlined. Crazy times, wonky. Thanks for being patient with us. So, let's talk some yarn.
Sweet.
What do you want to do first?
I don't know. You go first.
Why don't we start?
Tag, you're it.
Why don't we start with the Cumulus?
Okay.
I will grab this lovely salmon color. So, Juniper Moon Cumulus is our softest cotton in the shop. Almost, actually. She's going to talk about the absolute. It's one of the softest.
I'd say
let's say that.
One of two.
When I opened the shop, there was this yarn called Sublime Evie. And from, Sublime Serdar, they have mostly discontinued that. It was this lofty chainette type construction, kind of woven, braided, so soft. Cotton, a little bit of nylon, and then they discontinued it, and that was their choice. But it was my go-to for chemo caps, for soft baby blankets. It's a soft enough cotton that you gotta maybe take some caution in washing it, even though it's cotton. It's fluffy, but it's so soft. I can't even describe how soft it is. Juniper Moon, this is their equivalent of that. It comes in 100 grams instead of just little 50-gram balls that the Evie came in. And it has really yummy colors. We have this lovely kind of salmon-y color, which is very popular.
Happy place.
Her happy place is black. I'm going to put some photos maybe of colors interspersed in here if I can, or at the end. This is a lovely bright periwinkle. She's looking at specs. I've got this would you call this sage? Sagey green.
It's a little brighter than sage.
It's a little brighter. It's yeah.
It is 94% cotton with 6% nylon, which helps with the yumminess.
The yummy construction, holding the construction together.
And it's 251 yards. I'm just making sure. Yep. They're different.
Worsted weight, basically.
Yep, 251 yards of a medium. It says hand wash and lay flat for the recommendations, but
you might be able to wash it in the washing machine, but I would do it on cold, maybe in a garment bag.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it in the dryer. So they also have their version called Dappled. Here's a couple examples, 3 examples to be exact. We have a few more colors. They just came out with a rainbow that our friend Amanda, shout out to Amanda, is doing a papillon out of, and it's gorgeous because there's even a brighter like pink in here, like deep pink. We only have one color. It got back ordered as we ordered it, and we only have 5 skeins. Eventually, we hope to get more in. However, Knitting Fever, who we get these from, is up in New York. They have been given special permission to continue shipping orders, but with a super limited staff, and we have no idea when the back orders are going to come in. Back orders was always a thing of things running out in normal times, and now we're in wonky times. So, but this, baby blankets, soft tops, so many options. Chemo caps, like I said, really soft, wonderful stuff. And then I'm going to Liz up the ante because I said this is almost the softest cotton we have in the shop.
So this is Wool Addicts by Lang Yarn's Happiness. Wool Addicts is the brand, not necessarily the content.
Please don't be misled by that. Wool Addicts is the brand name. Lang Yarns had a subdivision they started, which was their cool one, called Wool Addicts. It's kind of, I liken it to like how Saturn, for those of you who are older, Saturn was an offshoot of GM. Scion was an offshoot of Toyota, the parent company. The brand name Wool Addicts is for a whole bunch of lines of yarns, This has no wool in it. Don't be misled by the name.
It is 65% cotton and 35% nylon, which, it upped the nylon content, but they're advertising it as machine washable, up to 30 degrees Celsius. So,
And I would say by looking at these two together, this one's kind of woven, and this one's a lot more closer to a chainette.
Chainette, yeah.
So it's a finer weave to it, which I think is part of what helps with it being even softer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is just absolutely. You get 50-gram balls. It's 135 meters. Add 10%. What is that, Rebecca?
I'm looking for the hat.
I couldn't find the hat.
Okay,
I remember
you keep talking.
moving the hat. 135 meters. It's like 140 something yards, almost 150 yards.
The general rule of thumb with meters to yards, if you don't want to do the specific calculations, you add about 10%.
I can't add, so
Math.
without my brain.
Woo, math. Okay.
So we got new colors of this in
New spring colors this year. Wool Addicts
this year.
thing is they have a set of neutrals for each line of yarn they put out, and then 3 pop colors each year.
Our pop colors from last year. Well, actually, we got like 4 pop colors actually.
I think there was a last year when it first was released, and then like a winter version, and then I think the blue was actually, this slate blue was actually part of the neutral line.
Oh,
so anyway,
well,
it's weird.
Anyway,
each line is a little different.
And
we'll
then,
show off some other Wool Addicts another day. I'm so excited about these new spring colors. They are fun.
They are gorgeous.
I know someone who is making a sweater out of the red. Last I heard, it was coming out divine. So soft. Just, be careful taking care of it. So, yes, the softest cotton we have in the shop. Right here. Wool Addicts Happiness. Again, don't be misled by the name. Just a bit confusing. And then the last yarn I wanted to talk about today, we are dabbling with a new designer of yarn to us called Jody Long. Is a guy. He is British, and his studio is in Spain, I believe. And so we are we've only gotten in 1 or 2 yarns of his. We have a catalog of patterns that came with this yarn. The yarn that I got in is called Coastline, and it is an Italian cotton and linen blend. And I'm really excited about this because I think it's gonna knit. It's not gonna be as soft as the other stuff, but it's going to have great structure for sweaters. Oftentimes, we haven't tested this. I haven't knit with this yet. I'm really excited to start. But oftentimes, cotton, people say it stretches out, or it gets bigger, or there's issues. But a blend, just like alpaca will grow, when you blend it with something else that could give it enough structure to keep its shape. So linen has a little more tensile strength.
and linen's gonna soften up over time, and so it's gonna become the yummiest.
Look at this, yeah, linen softens over time. You're right. So if you feel this and go, it'll get softer. And most of these colors have a little bit of a two-tone quality to them, which is really nice. I find that heathers or two-tones, there's more depth to the yarn. There's more visual texture. So funky striped sweater here, cardigan in here. I'll show you what I really want to make. I have been eyeing this pattern for a while now. Well, since it came in, which is not ancient. This came in like a month ago. But I want to put this on my to-do list. It is like a 3/4 sleeve, it does not look complicated for a sweater. And it is written for this color. Like that was the picture I just showed you. I really want to make it out of this color. So this is gorgeous. But I think this one's kind of a purpley slate blue. And I think it's kind of close to the classic blue color of the year, if we're still caring about that. So these are some colors I like. We've pulled out a couple other colors to just show off on springy, yummy, yay. And
we
there's
have a
also
couple more neutrals.
Yeah, we've got some neutrals and stuff. Like I said, I will put some pictures in if I can. I think the notions we showed off as well as we could, because I'm going to even check. Yeah, we're about 24 minutes right now. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The more pictures I throw in, the longer the video gets. So we'll see what we put in. But we're just sharing with you some fun options because not everyone right now wants to knit with wool. Because for some people in the country, summer's coming or it's already here.
Yeah.
And so it kind of feels hot to be knitting with big, heavy things. So, so there's some options for you to keep you entertained and to keep you stress reduced. You know, I always go back to my mantra that there are all these studies that show that working with your hands and doing something creative is good for your, you know, body and mind, that kind of thing.
Don't forget breathing and hydration.
Breathing and hydration, that's the mantra of our shop. We have bags that say breathe, hydrate, repeat to end of row. Breathing and hydration for new skills, for times of crisis. Keep breathing. And sometimes doing some monotonous knitting and crochet can be your own form of meditation. So do what you can, right? We're all doing what we can. And I was so busy yesterday, I didn't have time to sit and knit. And it was hard. When I sat down with Knit Night to try to knit, it was really hard to let go. But it's something I think we're all going to have to work on to keep our sanity at this point and to keep some sense of I wanted to say normalcy. I don't think normalcy is the right word
it's
right now.
It's gotten thrown out the window.
Yeah, there is no normal. But to keep some sense of ourselves, you know, get in tune with yourself and say, you know what, I can still make something. Even if it is a swatch, if it's a scarf, if it's, you don't know what to call it yet, make it up as you go. You know, meet yourself at the level that you are at right now. And know that, you know, we're here. Even if we can't be here at the shop, we are going to try to keep broadcasting from our houses. Yep. So we care about you all. We hope you enjoyed looking at some yummies. If we can help you out with that, give the shop an email or a call. And look, someone's calling already because I think it's about time for the shop to, it's past time for the shop to be accepting calls. So, hey Liz, just come say goodbye real fast.
Goodbye!
We love you all. Goodbye. May you have joy and happiness and confidence in your knitting. And let us know what you think. Subscribe, comment, share this with people, and let's see what we can do to keep going, okay? See ya.